Testing one, two, three. What is going on, guys? We have our week one recap every Tuesday. We will be going live and talking about the previous NFL week, breaking down the Bears game that just happened, and then just talking sports. This is usually a quick stream. We just want to talk a little sports, a little recap of what happened this past NFL week, and breaking down the Bears game with a little bit closer eye with all the adrenaline past us kind of just enjoying that Bears victory Monday that we had yesterday. But let's talk about the Titans versus the Bears. The Bears beat the Titans 24-17 Sunday, going 1-0. 24 unanswered points in the second half. Big day by the defense, big day by the special teams. And it was a great game. Takeaways for touchdowns were the key to these victories today. The keys to the victory this past Sunday. But let's break it down a little bit. Let's talk about the first half here. Nothing was going our way the first half. Not one single thing. The defense looked like Swiss cheese. I was nervous that whole first half. I thought, wow, this is not how we imagined this game to go. I thought our defense was going to play a lot better. The Titans' run game was just going through us. And they were running the ball. Will Levis was making some nice throws down the field also in this first half. I thought it was going to be a long day for us. I thought that game was over in the first half, the way that we were playing, the way the offense was playing. Let's talk about Caleb Williams a little bit in that game. Caleb didn't have his best game. We're not gonna beat around the bush there. He did not play well on Sunday. He missed some key throws. A nice throw that he could have had to Keenan Allen. A nice throw that he missed to DeAndre Carter. That 19-yard sack, that is a rookie mistake where he was running in circles a little bit. Should have definitely got rid of the ball there sooner. Cost us 3 points from what I remember. But there was a couple things that he did do well. That throw to Keenan Allen in the end zone that Keenan Allen ended up dropping, that was a beautiful throw. And he didn't turn the ball over, chat. He did not turn the ball over. No fumbles. No interceptions. These are things that we would have seen in the past from previous quarterbacks like Justin taking sacks, fumbling the ball, costing us points, costing the other team, giving the other team easy field position. So those are the pluses from Caleb. No, he didn't have a great day. Yes, he needs to play better. But thank God we have a really good defense that put the team on their back in that second half. But let's talk about one of the key huge plays that put us in a pickle early, and that was Velus Jones muffing the kickoff with 7 minutes into the first quarter. You guys heard me rant about this on stream. You guys heard me talk about this and rant and bitch about it in other videos. But Velus Jones needs to go. He provides no value to this team whatsoever, in my opinion. Anytime he has an opportunity to prove himself for a kickoff or punt return, he muffs it. He fumbles the bag, he muffs it, and he could have cost us that game. If that was any other team besides the Titans, that was the Texans that we're going to be playing next week, that's 7 points on the board, and we are screwed. He needs to go. Ryan Poles needs to cut bait, take your losses just like you did with Chase Claypool, and just get rid of Velus Jones. I don't care if people say, oh, he's a good running back. No, Khalil Herbert's a better running back. He can't play wide receiver. He can't do kickoff or punt returns. He is useless on this team. I am sorry, but that is the truth, and we just need to move on. One of the terrible things that need to improve drastically between now and when we play the Texans is that offensive line. They played terrible. This is what Ryan Poles gets for being so cheap on the offensive line, and this is not the first year we've seen it. We've seen this plenty of years to come. He has not prioritized the trenches, the offense or defensive line. Yes, he traded for Montez Sweat, but specifically the offensive line, especially the interior of the offensive line. We looked like cheeks. Coleman Shelton, ass. This is like the Lucas Patrick experience all over again, getting this cheap center, hoping miracles are going to happen. No, rookie quarterback. This is one of the reasons why Justin didn't have that much success, outside of his own poor play, but the resources around him, he didn't have a good offensive line. He didn't have a good center. And I don't want to see this deja vu all over again with Caleb Williams and our center that we have right now in Coleman Shelton. Coleman Shelton needs to play better. Yes, Sunday's performance was a terrible indicator of what may come throughout the course of the season, but he definitely needs to play better. I do not want to go through this Lucas Patrick center experience. I was saying all offseason, even a couple weeks ago when Seattle Seahawks signed Connor Williams for like $6 million, why did we not sign Connor Williams? Like, we could have had more depth at the offensive line position, a proven center for cheap. Yes, he had a huge injury, but all right, keep Coleman Shelton in there for a couple games while Connor Williams gets kind of used to the offense, gets healed up, and starts to get healthy. But no, we want to go cheap, and this could be the downfall to this team throughout the course of the season because Coleman Shelton didn't play good. Nate Davis played like ass. This man needs to start practicing. He needs to start going to training camp because he did not play well. Tevin Jenkins did not have his best game. But where do we go if this is what we're gonna see the whole season? It's gonna be a long season for us. It's gonna be a long season for Caleb Williams, especially teams like the Detroit Lions that got Aiden Hutchinson, Davenport. They all had big games against the Rams on Sunday night. We need this offensive line to improve for our rookie quarterback. We need this offensive line to improve for this offense to have any type of production because we play the 49ers this year. We play the Lions twice. The Packers defensive line is pretty decent also. Like, this offensive line, hopefully that was just a small, all right, let's forget about that game and move on to the Houston Texans because they got some dogs on their defensive line too. They got Danielle Hunter that we all wanted the Bears to sign. They got Will Anderson Jr. They do got players on that defensive line, but Coleman Shelton needs to play better. Nate Davis needs to be played. He gets $10 million a year to play like that. We might as well just put Lizzo on the offensive line. We might have a better chance of protecting Caleb Williams because if we're going to be seeing that all season, ooh, it's going to be a long season, man, especially for Caleb Williams. Tevin Jenkins, you got to have a better game. Danielle Hunter, he played, not Danielle Hunter. Who am I thinking of? Oh, my God. Darnell Wright, brain fart there. Darnell Wright, he played okay. Braxton Jones played okay, but the interior of our offensive line definitely needs to improve heading into week 2, going on the road Sunday Night Football against a very motivated, very good Houston Texans team. But what now? Like, if this is what we're gonna see, like, we can't really sign anyone. We got to trade for someone. Like, we're gonna be playing carousel with the offensive line, and it's not gonna be pretty, guys. It's not gonna be pretty. We need that offensive line to improve drastically for us to have success, for our rookie quarterback to develop. Now let's talk about the play calling a little bit. We're not here to point the finger at Shane Waldron, but kind of here to point the finger on Shane Waldron because the offense did not look good. What happened to the run game? What happened to providing our rookie quarterback with an established run game to make the game a little bit easier for him to open up the play action pass, get him moving outside of the pocket? Like, what happened to the run game? DeAndre Swift, 10 carries for 30 yards? He didn't get those last 20 yards until the last 3 minutes of the game when we had the lead, and he hurdled somebody for like 20 yards. Like, why aren't we running the ball more and early and having success doing it? Like, I don't understand that. Why weren't we trying to establish a run game? Why is Khalil Herbert only getting 2 touches, 2 runs for the game? Both was a 3rd and 4th and short. Not letting him get an opportunity to warm up here. In that first half, that whole game, throughout the whole game itself, we need to establish that run game. I had our lock of the week at DeAndre Swift over 42.5 rushing yards because I'm like, this is easy money. Shane Waldron's going to make it simple for Caleb Williams. He's going to run the ball. He's going to establish the run, create play action pass, make it easy for a rookie quarterback and get some confidence going. But no, even the screen pass. Like, why aren't we doing a couple screen passes to DeAndre Swift? Chunk yardage for Caleb to build some confidence, to get some momentum in that, especially in that first half, the first couple drives. But no run game, no short screen passes for easy completions for Caleb. So that play calling, I feel like it needs to improve. We need to run the ball against the Houston Texans on the road, rookie quarterback. It's going to be a hostile environment. We definitely need to run the ball, establish the run, create play action pass against the Houston Texans. And then the personnel. What was Shane Waldron do? Like, Cole Kmet was barely on the field. He had like 1 or 2 targets. Gerald Everett was getting more touches and more plays than Cole Kmet. We need like our top 5 offensive players on the field at once. Like, I did not see that a lot. Wasn't Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift at the field all at once? We paid all this money for Cole Kmet, got that contract extension. We paid DeAndre Swift in the offseason. Like, why are we not putting these players, getting the ball and targeting these players? Like, I don't get why was Travis Homer on the field more than Khalil Herbert. Some of these things just didn't add up for me. I know it's week one. It's kind of an extension for the preseason, but get Cole Kmet more involved in the offense. Get the running game established with DeAndre Swift, and deprioritize Gerald Everett and Travis Homer. I know they were in your offenses in previous teams with the Seahawks, but like, no, let's prioritize our big play players that need to make plays for the young rookie quarterback. That's something else I noticed that I didn't really understand throughout the course of the game. Some of Shane Waldron's personnel and some of his play calling. Let's talk about defense and special teams. Yes, we looked like ass in that first half. Yes, I was getting heated in that first half. Tony Pollard was running us through us like he was Chris Johnson or Derrick Henry. Will Levis was making some nice throws like he was the next coming of Tom Brady in that first half. But our defense came up in the second half. Props to the defense. Props to Eberflus for making those huge adjustments in the second half, creating pressure on the quarterback. We did not see any pressure on the quarterback the whole first half. I was bitching about that the whole game. The whole first half, I was bitching about that. Then we got pressure on the quarterback. We got takeaways. We got that block punt that was huge. We got that strip sack fumble from DT. The Tyreek Stevenson pick six. Jalen Johnson sealing the game at the end with an interception. That's keys of it. We need a lot of. We cannot play in the first half on defense against the Texans like we did the Titans, because that is C.J. Stroud, that is Stephon Diggs, that is Tank Dell, that's Nico Collins, that is Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon ran for $150 this past week against the Colts. If we let them play in the first half like we let the Titans, the game's going to be over at halftime. Our defense needs to step up and create that leash for Caleb Williams to make some mistakes to get to a slow start. If that's going to be the case, if we're going to have the same offensive game plan, we need to make sure we're off to a hot start defensively for sure, to make sure C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Joe Mixon don't get in rhythm and do not get to a hot start early, because we'll be playing catch-up with a rookie quarterback, and that's not what I want to see. But the defense played huge in that second half against the Tennessee Titans. Those adjustments were key. Darrell Taylor or something like that? DT, the person that we traded a 6th-round pick from the Seattle Seahawks? What, he had 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. He was a huge pickup that we got in the offseason. Hopefully we can continue seeing that. Montez Sweat had his quiet day, but that's because they're always double-teaming Montez Sweat. So players like that. Walker had a big day. Was it DeMarcus Walker? Dexter had a couple big plays. We definitely need to see that more, especially if Sweat is going to Montez is continue to get double-teamed. We need other players to step up. Quiet day from Austin Booker. I don't know if I really saw him much, to be honest with you. But that defense needs to get off to a hot start. And credits to, we end up stopping the run in the second half. We stopped Tony Pollard, which forced Will Levis to throw and make stupid mistakes. Putting pressure on the quarterback also helped when he had to throw. And credit to Kyle Santos. He hit some key field goals that got us points on the board when our offense couldn't do much with that short field position, making sure we're not going away with 0 points when our defense was doing their work. But credit to Cairo Santos. Overall, defense needs to play like that all 4 quarters, not just for next week, but moving forward throughout the season. If Caleb is still learning, going to have a slow start, we definitely need to establish that pressure on the quarterback, stopping the run early and not waiting to the second half to do so, because a team like the Houston Texans, who's a top 5, top 10 team in this league, top 5, top 10 offense in this league, we can't afford that, because we'll be playing catch up, and who knows how our offense will look. We need to establish, moving forward, looking ahead to week 2 on the road against the Houston Texans, prime time. We need to establish the run. We're paying DeAndre Swift, $8-10 million a year. Get him the ball, run the ball with Khalil Herbert, create play action pass for Caleb Williams. We need to establish that run early, get their defense tired, and that's gonna be huge. We can't wait till the fourth quarter when we got a lead that we just pulled out of our ass to establish a running game. I want to see DeAndre Swift getting 15, 20 carries. I want to see Herbert getting 10, 15 carries. I want to see us establish the run. Caleb needs to play better. That's the truth. He needs to play better. Didn't even break 100 yards passing. He needs to play better. He needs to hit those passes to Keenan Allen. He might be without Rome Odunze now. Rome Odunze has a sprained MCL, I believe, in his knee. He's week to week. So it's going to be DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, Tyler Scott, Carter. These players need to step up and have a big day for Caleb and help him as he tries to get in rhythm. And Shane Waldron, you need to do better play calling, put better personnel out there, in my opinion, than we had against the Titans. Because we didn't get lucky because our defense is good, but we kind of got lucky, you know? CJ Stroud is not going to fall to his knees throwing a pick six. CJ Stroud is not going to let DT come around the opposite side for a strip sack fumble. CJ Stroud is not going to throw that game-losing interception to Jalen Johnson. Like, it may happen, but more chances than not, he's not Will Levis, is what I'm trying to say at the end of the day. So, we need to get off to a hot start on our defense, and we need to establish the run early. And the offensive line needs to be improved drastically. The offensive line needs to play a lot better than they did against the Tennessee Titans, because they got Danielle Hunter, they got Will Anderson, and yes, that Tennessee Titans front four is they're beasts. They're beasts. You had Simmons and you had Sweat. They really gave our O-line some trouble, but we need to play better, establish the run, and then pass protection needs to be there for Caleb Williams to, you know, get the ball out and get some completions and some conversions for first downs. But yeah, that's just kind of our recap that we talked about with the Titans versus Bears this past week. Bears are 1-0, baby. Bears are 1-0. Heading to the Houston Texans week 2 on the road, Sunday Night Football. We'll be streaming our watch party for that game on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok if we get unbanned. But I cannot wait for that game. My expectations, I do have them losing this game. That was in my schedule prediction weeks ago. But I just hope the offense looks better. I hope Caleb Williams can get in rhythm, that we see a lot better performance offensively wise, offensive line wise, run game wise than we did in the last week. But a little bit of history was made by the Chicago Bears this past Sunday. I saw a post, and there's 3 games in the NFL where a team had 17-plus point comeback without an offensive touchdown. 2 of those times were the Chicago Bears. In 2006 against the Cardinals, with that famous post-game speech by the Cardinals head coach, they are who we thought they were. Remember that? Urlacher, Briggs, Peanut Tillman, Devin Hester returns. That game was wild. And then this past Sunday against the Tennessee Titans. So that's just a little fun history fact. History was made by the Chicago Bears with that comeback. We did not score 1 offensive touchdown. Caleb Williams did not throw over 100 passing yards, but our defense and special teams stepped up, which isn't real. It's what we need to do. We have a top 5, top 10 defense. They need to step up in those occasions to help a rookie quarterback, especially week 1 in this first game. And another piece of history was made, not really to the credit to himself, but before the game, entering that game, number 1 overall pick quarterbacks were 0-14-1 in their debuts since 2022. That was David Carr in 2022. But now they're 1-14-1 because Caleb Williams, won that game per se, and made a little bit of history again there. So that was pretty cool. Let's talk about around the league week 1 around the NFL, breaking it down from our Thursday night football game. Then we had the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens, and the Chiefs will be the Chiefs at the end of the story. They'll always have the Baltimore Ravens number. That is Lamar Jackson's kryptonite. Lamar Jackson can look as good as he wants throughout the regular season, but when it comes to playing Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. They're always going to win that game. There was never a doubt about that. And that was a really good game, amazing game to kick off our week 1 in the NFL season. And then you had the Eagles versus the Packers playing in São Paulo, Brazil. That was a really good game. Love to see Friday Night Football. I'm never going to complain I wish there was football on tonight. Never going to complain when we got football on. And the Eagles take down the Packers. Unfortunately, Jordan Love got hurt in the last 2 plays of the game, trying to get that comeback. He's going to be out for a few weeks. I don't think they put him on injured reserve just yet, but he, I believe, hurt his ankle or knee. Someone can correct me if they want, but Jordan Love's out for a few weeks, and that's good news. Unfortunately, that's good news for the Bears. They're not going to have their starting quarterback for a few weeks. Hopefully we can, get a nice little lead in that division, stay competitive and within the Detroit Lions for those NFC North standings. But that was also a good game. Saquon Barkley, that man went off. 3 touchdowns. The best offensive line he's ever played. It's the best offense he's ever played with. And the Eagles got their money's worth just week 1 with that return and that ROI. Cardinals versus the Bills. Cardinals had a little first quarter hot start, but Josh Allen put the team on his back. Well, he had 2 passing touchdowns, 2 running touchdowns, and the Bills looked pretty good. I'm just talking about around the league from a high level point of view, kind of recapping some of the games that happened week 1. I didn't dive too deep into them. I was just seeing some highlights, seeing some Twitter, looking into the box score, stuff like that. So we're not going to deep dive and analyze everything too much right now, but with a closer eye, but just kind of seeing from a bird's eye view what I noticed around the league week 1 while I was after the Bears game catching up on a lot of NFL stuff. But Josh Allen, could this be his MVP year? Could Josh Allen win the MVP this year? I'm not saying that's my prediction, but he played pretty well against the Arizona Cardinals. As expected, though. As expected. I don't know if they covered or not. I think the spread was 6.5. Maybe it was a push at worst case scenario. And then you had the Dolphins versus the Jaguars. Tyreek Hill got detained for a hot second going into the game. Not sure if you guys saw the videos that came out, the body cam footage from the police officers. He got detained like 2 hours before kickoff. Whole situation there, but he came out and had a game of he had like a $150 receiving yards touchdown. One of the smoothest celebrations with his hands behind his back that you'll probably see in a while. But the Miami Dolphins won that game 20-17. That's a good game that happened over the weekend. And then you got the Houston Texans versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Texans beat the Colts on the road by 2 points. That was a good game from what I kind of saw from a high level. CJ Stroud doing CJ Stroud stuff. He's him. 2 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs got a touchdown. Joe Mixon running for a $150 plus, 150 yards plus against the Indianapolis Colts. So we got to make sure that we stop that running game against the Houston Texans. We got to make sure we lock down Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell with I think our secondary matches up really well with the receiving core. We just got to make sure we don't let them run down our throats like the Tennessee Titans did in that first half. And, it'll be a ball game. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm so excited for that game. AR with only 9 completions at about like 50, 60 rushing yards, but he had an amazing throw. Could have been the best passing touchdown of the weekend that he had to Alex Pierce, falling backwards, throwing it like 50 yards. It was a 7-yard touchdown reception. That was good. That was pretty cool. But we'll see how much he lasts in this league. Just like Justin Fields, he only he had 9 completions, 9 for 17, something like that. Prioritize running the ball, but we'll see how he does and develops throughout this year. We had our Monday Night Football game last night, the Jets versus the 49ers. The 49ers put a beat down on the Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Wasn't very competitive after the second half. 49ers are just a bunch of bullies. That offensive line is crazy good. Trent Williams got his contract extension. You could have the Rizzler at running back for the San Francisco 49ers, and he's going to be running for 150 yards. And if you don't know who the Rizzler is, go look up the Rizzler. TikTok star, the Rizzler, could have been running in that backfield for the San Francisco 49ers and went off. The Jets will be the Jets. I mean, I don't know what to expect. I think I have them winning the division in my parlay, but they didn't look too hot. That defense didn't look too hot, but the San Francisco 49ers are one of the top 3 teams in the league. And Kyle Shanahan is just an amazing play caller. Knows how to scheme guys open. 49ers are going to be a team to watch out for, and we play them in December, so we'll see how that game goes once we get to it. It's a long ways away, but that was definitely good to see last night. Christian McCaffrey got placed on inactive, 30 minutes before the game kicked off, so everyone was running to the waiver wire, running to the sports books to try to bet Jordan Mason last night, who went off, the backup running back for the San Francisco 49ers, but that was a good game. It had a little bit of deja vu. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the one touchdown I don't know if it was a touchdown. I think it was a touchdown pass where Aaron Rodgers, vintage Aaron Rodgers, got the defense to come offside, and he threw a passing touchdown to Allen Lazard. And guess who the player was that jumped off sides? Our old buddy there, Leonard Floyd. I just had deja vu. Yo, Johnny C in the YouTube chat. What's good, bro? Bear down. How you doing, my guy? We're just doing a little NFL Week 1 recap, which we'll be doing every Tuesday. Also, if you don't get to catch all of this, we'll be pushing it out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But I had a little bit of deja vu there. I was like, oh my gosh, vintage Aaron Rodgers getting the defense to draw offside, throwing a pass to Allen Lazard, who was a previous Packers, and the guy who jumped offside with Leonard Floyd. I'm like, damn, that you can't make that stuff up. the New York Giants against the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold looked good. Only had one pick, thrown into his best weapon, Justin Jefferson. Daniel Jones' cheeks. The Giants are cooked. Are the Giants going to get the first pick in next year's draft? It's between the Giants and the Carolina Panthers. And I saw the funniest tweet. We're like, what did we do to Germany? I saw the funniest tweet. It was like, what did Germany do to deserve a Carolina Panthers versus New York Giants matchup? And if you go in the comments and just think about it, you know what they did, right? That was just classic Twitter. But it's going to be the battle for the worst team in the league between the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants because, sheesh. Daniel Jones is cheeks. The Giants are cheeks. And it's going to be a long season for both of those teams. And I feel bad for that fan base. And the Bears might get the 33rd pick in this year's draft because the Carolina Panthers also got a beat down by the New Orleans Saints. Like they scored, 3 points? Looking like the best trade in NFL history, perhaps top 3 trade in NFL history. Ryan Poles finessing the Carolina Panthers. Yo, Arthur, what's going on? Bears 24, Chiefs 21. Is that the Super Bowl you're talking about? Yeah, baby. Arthur from the YouTube chat. But yeah, Minnesota Vikings, they gotta win. I did predict them getting that win, I do believe. So then the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Atlanta Falcons. Why we're talking about this game, chat? Why are we talking about this game? Because Justin Fields started. Our old buddy Justin Fields. He got the win. Congrats to Justin. I don't think he turned the ball over. He didn't have a passing touchdown, but he had some nice passes to George Pickens. I saw that. But remember that trade? We got a conditional 6th-round pick from the Pittsburgh Steelers for Justin Fields, right? If he plays, 55-60% of the snaps this year, we get a 4th-round pick. Any breaking news, we'll talk about our breaking news around the league. But breaking news, Justin Fields will be starting week 2 against the Denver Broncos. And I think he can play well against the Denver Broncos. Geno Smith, they just beat the Denver Broncos this past week. So no turnovers. Justin played well. Good for him. Hopefully we get this 4th-round pick from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they're resting Russell Wilson one more week. And I think what happened to the Falcons, man? That's the performance they gave. That's the performance they put on the field, only scoring 10 points with Kirk Cousins. Apparently that Achilles ain't looking too good. But we'll see. Might need some time to gel with the new offense, gel with the new offensive weapons on there, but we'll see how that goes. And then Dallas versus Cleveland. Dallas looked good. Dak got that contract extension Sunday morning. Congrats for him securing the bag. $60 million per year. Now the highest paid quarterback in the league. That's a quarterback I can get behind being the highest paid in the league. Not Trevor Lawrence, not Tua, not Jordan Love. Dak Prescott does deserve that. Yes, he hasn't had that much success in the playoffs, but he's a good quarterback. I don't know what all the hate about Dak Prescott is, but he's a good quarterback. And the Dallas Cowboys looked real good playing against the Cleveland Browns. I believe it was in Cleveland. I don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson, but he needs to go to a local rub and tug and get his mojo back because ever since he's been traded to the Cleveland Browns, he has been ass. He has been ass. And I know that's a little bit insensitive comment considering the lawsuit that just came out today. But I don't know what happened ever since, he got traded from the Houston Texans. Because when he was on the Houston Texans, chat, he was coming to be one of the league's best quarterbacks, top 5 quarterback in the league. And then he gets traded, and then he doesn't even know how to play football. It's why they're going to be starting Jameis Winston real soon, as they should. Or they should just call up Joe Flacco again, because they're killing it when Joe Flacco goes on. We all saw that when we lost in week, 15 against the Cleveland Browns last season. And is that the worst trade of all time? Did the Cleveland Browns just do more Cleveland Brown stuff, trading for mortgaging their franchise future for the next 5-10 years when they traded for Deshaun Watson, giving them a bajillion 1st-round picks? And then if they're over there looking in Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield's looking real well. Last year he played well, scored 4 touchdown passes this past week against the Commanders. But yeah, Deshaun Watson, you need to go to your local rub and tug, bro, and get one of those because you need to get your mojo back, bro. You need to get your mojo back. And this might be the worst trade of all time in NFL history because maybe that and the Herschel Walker deal. But the Cowboys look good. CD had a hot start to the first quarter, but I had a player prop him and he didn't cash out. But Cowboys did look good. Let's talk about the winners and losers of the weekend. Who took the L this weekend? Let's kick it off with the Cincinnati Bengals. You lost to the Patriots at home. only scoring 10 points. I know you didn't have T. Higgins. You had a Jamar Chase that wasn't in shape or was just unmotivated. He was sick. He wasn't really trying to play because he wants to get paid. Well, how do you lose to the Jacoby Brissett and the New England Patriots only scoring 10 points? Their defense is not that good. I'm sorry. They got Christian Gonzalez. They just traded Matthew Judon, but there's a lot going on in that Bengals locker room and that Bengals team right now where they're supposed to be a favorite in this AFC, playoff picture, and they did not show out week 1. I know they usually get off to a slow start. It's only September. It's like an extension of the preseason, but against the Patriots, you thought a lot of survivor pools. People got eliminated. I was going to choose the Bengals in our survivor pool that we're doing this year, our 2024 Bear Down and Beyond survivor pool, but I ended up going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Something just didn't feel right about the Bengals game. Didn't like it. Didn't love it. But who else took the L this past weekend? My buddy that I played in fantasy, I scored 160 points. I put it on my story on Instagram. Cooper Kupp got me 33. Jake Moody might be the pick of the draft. Got me 26. Bears defense got me 24. AJ Brown got me 23. Scored 150, 160 points in my previous game, this past fantasy matchup. I want to know, just like the Bears, that was light work. Yeah, so my buddy in fantasy, he took the L. It's a $4,000 league, so it is a pretty serious league. And then who also took the L? Not because the Giants lost, not because Daniel Jones is their quarterback, but all throughout the offseason Hard Knocks. The whole big deal is trying to re-sign Saquon Barkley. No, we can't afford to pay a running back that. Well, look what you just watched on Friday night in Brazil. Saquon Barkley going off for 3 touchdowns, was over 100 rushing yards. He was all your offense last year, and you should have overpaid him just to have somewhat of an offense this year, because now, who do you got now? Devin Singletary and Daniel Jones? You guys are cooked this year. You guys are cooked. And then who also took the L? Daniel Jones. Not because he lost, not because he's cheeks, but I came across this graphic on Twitter, and it's pretty sad. Daniel Jones has more pick six and touchdowns since signing his $160 million deal. Let me say that again. Daniel Jones has more pick six than touchdowns thrown after signing his $160 million deal. Daniel Jones has thrown more passes to the other team for a touchdown than his own teammates on his own offense after signing his $160 million deal. I was hearing it over and over again from Giants fans when we had the whole Justin Fields. Oh, Daniel Jones is better than Justin Fields. Daniel Jones is. No. Daniel Jones is ass. You guys will be getting the first or second pick in this year's draft. And you guys took the L. You guys took the L this past weekend. And Brian Dable's probably going to be fired by week 3. And I like Brian Dable. He made Mitch Trubisky look good. He helped develop Josh Allen. I think he's a good offensive coach. I think he's a good offensive mind. But he's been stuck with Daniel Jones, and that just sucks. He didn't pick Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, I believe, was already on the team by the time he got there. Because by the time he got there, Daniel Jones was only on his second year or something. But yeah. And yeah, we just talked about who's cooked. Who's also cooked? The Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young's looking like a Lego character back there as their quarterback. 3 points scored this past? 10 points scored. 47-10 against the Saints. And the Carolina Panthers got to be like, damn, why did we do that trade with the Chicago Bears? And Ryan Poles got to be sipping his whiskey after every Sunday watching Bryce Young play, after watching DJ Moore play. Hopefully Caleb Williams develops into we watch Tyreek Stevenson that we got a pick from that trade, pick 6, game-winning pick 6. Yeah, the Panthers are cooked. They might have the first pick again in this upcoming draft. Maybe they're gonna tank on purpose so they actually have a pick they can use in the first pick and just trade off Bryce Young, kind of like what the Cardinals did with Josh Rosen a couple years ago. But yeah, they are cooked. And then who stood on business? Baker Mayfield stood on business this past weekend, chat. 4 passing touchdowns, beating the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels, he played okay from what I kind of saw some highlights. He did run the ball for over 80 rushing yards, but didn't get the win. Who also stood on business? Josh Allen stood on business, making sure that he put the team on his back, putting his team in a winning situation. The San Francisco 49ers stood on business, just manhandling the New York Jets defense. Telling them, yeah, we're the number 1 team in the NFC. And who else stood on business? Our Bears defense, baby. Our Bears defense stood on business this past weekend. Just, compensating for the rookie quarterback play, compensating for the poor offensive play by our offense. And then you got Tyreek Hill standing on business too. After getting detained 2 hours before kickoff, Man went off for over 100 receiving yards, scoring that touchdown in a hard celebration. So that is who stood on business this past weekend. That's a segment that we'll do every Tuesday, recapping the NFL week, along with who was cooked and who took an L. Those are the little segments that I want to do, talking about the previous NFL week. Now let's break down some NFL news, some things that I saw come across my screen since Sunday till now. CMC, I don't know if you guys saw, was inactive last night against the New York Jets. He was put on inactive like 20 minutes before kickoff. So we'll monitor the health of him throughout the next few days for their game coming up on Sunday. I believe they play. It has a lot of fantasy implications for people that drafted CMC first. I had a dude in my league. He drafted CMC first, but never picked up Jordan Mason, his backup. That's like, you got to handcuff him just in case something like that happens. So he was winning by 1.5 points going into the game. The guy he was playing had the Jets defense, chat. Like, hear this out. The guy he was playing had the Jets defense. He was winning by 1.5 points. He had CMC. All right, he's going to win. CMC gets listed as inactive. He's up 1.5 points. Oh, no, he was down 1.5. No, let me start this over. All right, chat. In my fantasy football league, there's a matchup. This guy was down 1.5 points. He had CMC left on his team. He probably thought he was going to win that game with ease. The other guy had the New York Jets defense. CMC gets listed as inactive 20 minutes before kickoff. This guy does not have Jordan Mason rostered on his team. This guy has no slot to pick up anybody like Juszczyk or whatever. The other guy who was playing put the Jets defense on his bench. And good thing he did, because the Jets defense had negative points. So this man lost because CMC was not listed as active and couldn't get the man 2 points to win the game. I'd be tight. That's a bad beat. Some other news that's going on. Rome Odunze is listed week to week with an MCL sprain. Fields is starting week 2. We mentioned that already. Puka Nacua was put on IR. I was watching that game. He got pretty banged up, but I got Cooper Kupp on my fantasy team. And we all know Jordan Love is out for a few weeks, getting injured in that Brazil game against the Philadelphia Eagles on Friday night. I did have my week 2 power rankings listed on a topic here, chat. I'll do my top 5 week 2 power rankings, and then next week I'll do a top 10. Maybe I'll do top 8. Here, I'll do top 8, and I'll kind of just do it off the cups. I didn't put them in any order. I just had them listed. But here's my week 2 power rankings. Number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes. You have to have the Kansas City Chiefs until they prove us otherwise, why they're not the best team in the NFL. They beat the Ravens, and they're just the best team in the league. They got the best quarterback in the league, maybe the best quarterback in NFL history. But the Chiefs at number 1. Number 2, I got the San Francisco 49ers. This has been, they played against each other in Super Bowl. With Trent Williams re-signed, with Brandon Ayuk re-signed. They do need to get Christian McCaffrey healthy, but they haven't proved us otherwise, just like the Chiefs, why they shouldn't be number 2. And then number 3, I hate to say it, chat. I hate to say it, but I got the Detroit Lions. The way they run the ball, that offense with Ben Johnson. Their defense is looking a little bit better. Their secondary is a little bit better. Yeah, Puka went off, but that was against the Rams. Their offensive line was chalked with a bunch of injuries that popped up throughout the course of that game. But I got the Detroit Lions at number 3. And this is kind of just going off the top of my head. I didn't write all my notes down. At number 4, I got the Dallas Cowboys. I got the Dallas Cowboys at number 4. Went on the road, put the Cleveland Browns in a chokehold. That game was never a game since kickoff. They got Michael Parsons. Their defense is strong. Dak is re-signed. They do got to get a little bit better running game, I believe. You got to see, Rico and Zeke. I don't know how well that's going to last them throughout the whole season, but they got one of the best wide receivers in the league in CeeDee Lamb. And at number 4, I'm going to put I got the Philadelphia Eagles. No, that would be number 5. At number 5, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. They got a good running game. Their offensive line is good. They played well against the Packers. Got them at number 5. And at number 6, for my power rankings, I got the Houston Texans. Houston Texans at number 6. CJ Stroud, one of the best quarterbacks, top 5, top 7, top 8 quarterback in the league right now. And then I got the Buffalo Bills at number 7. Got the Buffalo Bills at number 7. Josh Allen played real well. And at number 8, I got the Miami Dolphins at number 8. Tua, Tyreek, they played really well this past week. That offense is always clicking. And then at number 9, I'll put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 9. Don't forget that they were in the playoffs last year. Don't sleep on Baker Mayfield and that team. They played really well last year and in the playoffs, and then this past Sunday against the Commanders. I know it was only the Commanders, but at number 9, we got the Washington Commanders. Or the number 9, we got the Bucs. And then number 10. At number 10, let's see here, chat. At number 10, I guess I will have to put the Baltimore Ravens. I know they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, but they are the Ravens. They do have Lamar. They have Harbaugh. They'll be good throughout the course of the season, and they'll have to kind of prove themselves again in the playoffs against the Chiefs if they make it that far. And at number 11, I got our Chicago Bears because we do have a top 5 defense in the league, and we just need the offense to click. So I'm going to put the Bears at number 11, honorable mention. But my power rankings, those are my top 10 power rankings for week 2. And at the bottom of the list on the opposite side, we got the Panthers and the Giants. But this is our NFL Week 1 recap chat. Every Tuesday, we'll be pushing this out, just talking about the previous Bears game, the NFL previous week, NFL news, and this will be pushed out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for you guys to listen on your way home from work, or if you're doing some traveling throughout the week. That is our Week 1 recap. I love y'all. Tune in to our guest of the week. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our stream schedule release will be released tomorrow. We have our Sweat the Bet Thursday Night Football kicking off at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is the Dolphins versus the Bills. That's going to be a good game where I put a high wager bet, and we live stream me sweating the bet. And then we'll have our guest of the week. We have a guest of the week, Houston Texans creator, Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I might have a couple other streams. But stay posted on Instagram to look out for that stream schedule. Appreciate all the love and support this past week. Week 1 was a grind, just kind of getting all the content pushed out before the season kicks off and ready for Week 1 watch party. And then watch party, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the Bears versus the Texans. That will be streamed on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. But I love y'all. Bear down. Bears are 1-0. I'm 1-0 in fantasy. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream and in this podcast. I'll see you guys soon on the next stream. I love y'all. Bear down. Peace.